Okay, so this is functions. And today we're going to look at end behavior. End behavior. Well, we're going to look at how something behaves, right? That's the word behavior. But what's end? What is the end, or what are the ends of a graph? So let's just throw a simple little graph here. I'll do a little simple graph right here. How about we just put something like this? Go ahead and just sketch that little roller coaster thing going like that. Put the arrows at the left end over here. We're okay doing a little up and down graph like this. So honestly, don't worry about what's in the middle. You're just looking at the ends. Anybody want to take a wild guess what's the ends of this graph? Well, you got this end over here. And it doesn't stop there, but we know it's continuous, but it's like the left end over here, right? The left end of the graph. I don't care what's happening here. I'm just looking and I'm making an observation for the end behavior. And then I got the other side over here, the right end. Yeah? So, can you tell me what's going to happen at this end? Does everybody see the graph or the arrows pointing up? That means that this one's going to continue to do what? At this end on the left, it's going to continue to this end. Well, this end, which is on the left side over here, will continue. But I know you're saying go up, but there's a word that kind of captures all that in math. What's the word for something that goes up? Increases, right? It's going to increase. This end will continue to increase. Yeah? But what's actually increasing, I know the previous assignments we've just been looking at the x, we've just been looking at the domain, but does everybody agree it's the y values now that are increasing, see? The y values are going to get higher and higher, right? This is 8, this is 9, this is 10, see? It'll continue to increase. This end over here, this end on the left, this end, the left. Oops, left. And what are you going to tell me about this end of the graph? Again, I don't care how many times it jiggles in the middle. I'm just looking at the left end and the right end. This end over here, this right end, what is it doing? Isn't it dropping? Isn't it going lower? But see, yeah, now you're going to see that it's the values of y are going what? The values of y for every point are decreasing, yes. Values of y are what? Decreasing. Okay. Are we okay up to there? We understand what the ends are. Where do we look? There's two ends. Everybody agree? There's an end on the left, and then there's an end on the right. So you're going to describe what's happening to this end on the left. All the time, every time, never going to fail. The end on the left, where's my other pen? This left end all the time is going to be, isn't the graph going this way? The graph's going this way to the left. So how do you say that in math? How do you say where the graph is going towards the left, or this left side?
It's going infinitely.
Oh, I like that word. He said infinity. I'm just not going to go from, let's say, from 0, and if I go this way, how do you say that in math? Well, in math you say, as the values of x as the values of x go where? To infinity. This way is the positive or the negative side?
Negative.
As the values of x go to negative infinity. Does everybody agree? Anytime I'm looking anywhere going left, it's going deeper and deeper to the negatives. Yeah. If I have a bank account, I don't want it at 0, and I definitely don't want any negatives in the bank account, right? We want some positive numbers there. So this is the notation for saying, look at this left side. Look at this left side. If I continue to go to the left, that would be the notation. As x approaches, let's write that down. As the values of x approach what? Negative infinity. That's what this means. That's how you read that. That's what the arrow means. You see the x right there, and you see the negative. As the values of x approach negative infinity, what is happening to the values of y, everybody? Look at this end. We're just focusing over here. As the values of x, and if I look at this end, as it keeps going more and more deeper this way to the left, what is happening to the values of y on this graph? Isn't it increasing? Yes. As the values of x approach negative infinity, I can see that this end behavior, we're going to say what? The values of y what? The values of y, and then this arrow is shooting up, so that's going to be r what? Increasing. Go ahead and write that in. For this part, the values of y are increasing. How do I write that in math? How do I write it in this notation, everybody? Who can take a wild shot? Go ahead. Y
The arrow.
approaches, or yeah. Oh no! Spam.
Infinity.
Does everybody agree that would be the way you would say it? Without writing it out? Because math people are lazy and they don't want to write words. We don't like words. We like symbols and we like to confuse people. That is what's happening to this one. Always the one on the left is going to be as x approaches negative infinity. And then, does that mean it's always going to go up? No, it's just the one for this graph. But does everybody see the values of y are getting larger, or the graph's going up? So that means the values of y are shooting up to positive infinity. Now we're looking at positive infinity, meaning this way up to the sky, and then now we're looking at the y negative infinity is dropping down deeper and deeper this way. So the end behavior for this side is what? Well, we just wrote the two parts right here. You'll write as x approaches negative infinity, comma, y. What happens to the values of y? Do they go to positive infinity? Or do they go up to positive infinity, or down to negative infinity? Up to positive infinity. That's what this language, this notation, these symbols, and that's what these arrows, and that's what this means. I only described this one. Yeah? That's the end behavior on this one on the left. Now we got to do this one over here, everybody. When you're looking at this end on the right, let's talk about the values of x. Are the values of x getting larger or smaller when you look every time to the right? What's happening to the values of x? If you're looking this way, the values of x are getting smaller. Right? Isn't this positive number? So this means it's increasing that way. When I go more this way, it's going to go increasing. And isn't this way? The deeper and deeper I go, left, that's negatives. Yeah. So this one would be as the values of x, what? Go to positive, right? To the right, the numbers are getting larger, but they're positive. What is that? As I look at this graph and I go deeper this way to the values of x, what is happening to the values of y, you guys? They're decreasing. That's correct. So what's the end behavior for this one? Right, we already talked about, if I look at this side, that means as the values of x go to positive infinity to the right, to the whole numbers, what is the behavior? What is going on with this graph? For the values of y are what? Approaching what? Negative infinity. So you're going to have to make two observations. One of them for this end on the left and one of them for this end on the right. So how would you write this one? Well, let's just write it over here, because on the assignment it'll have this one, then it'll have the word and it'll have the other one. And again, how do we write this one on the right side? Well, as x approaches what? Positive infinity, because the x values are positive to the right. As x, if I look that way to the right, what are the values of y doing? The graph is going what? Down, so the values of y are going down, 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 down to negative infinity. This is how you're going to see the answers written out, or the selections you got to look at. You'll have both of them. Sometimes I'll write this one first. Sometimes I'll write this one first. Don't let it throw you off. They're not always going to write this one first, then this one. You just got to know how to look at it. Okay, let me give you another one, right? Any questions? Is that pretty clear now what's going on and what you got to look at?
Yeah. All
right, let's do this one. Ready? Copy this funny little jiggly graph I'm going to put here. What if I put this? Here it goes. Ready? What if I put... okay, whatever. Again, you're only making an observation about the end. The end. I don't care about the middle. I don't care how many times I went up and down and no. I'm just looking at the end behavior. Go ahead and write. Let's write this one first. They don't always write this one first, but let's just all do it together. Go ahead and write the end behavior for this end on the left. We're just looking at what's gonna be the behavior of this graph at this left end. At this end on this left side. The end behavior. Okay. So what are we going to say? As the x values what? As the x values approach. Now I'm going to the left, guys. Which way are the x values doing? Are they getting higher or lower?
Lower.
Okay, so as x approaches negative infinity, right, doesn't that mean lower? As it goes deeper, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, negative 15, negative 30, negative... Okay. As the graph goes this way, deeper and deeper into the negative sides, what are the values of y doing? They're also, what is happening here? They're also going down to, now you do look this way, up and down, while this one's going down, deep, down, 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 down. The values of y are what? Decreasing. Correct. You got it. That's how you look at it. That's how you read it. And that was just this one, right? Now let's go to is everybody okay with this left end behavior, the left side? As the values of x go this way, the y's drop. Okay, now tell me what's happening over here. Well, what do we say here? The values of x, as the values of x what? As the values of x now are approaching to the right. Always to the right is going positive. Hello. As the values of x increase, that's the right side. As the values of x, if I start here at 0 and if I go that way, what are the values of y doing, everybody? the values of y are, well, where is this arrow going? Up or down? Up. Up is what? If they're going up to positive infinity. Yeah? Does that make sense? No, not yet? Okay, which part, Yasmin? Okay, so you're pretty much just gonna look at the left side, the left end behavior, and the right. Everybody, just the ends. Yeah? This one's always the one on the left. This one's always the one on the right. Always the one on the left. Here's your x-axis, right? Here's your x-axis. The left side of the x-axis. See, those are your negative numbers. You start with -1. Well, actually, you kind of start with 0. But see, then it goes to -1, -2, -3. That's going deeper and deeper into the negatives. Always when you see this left side, always this left end, always. This left side is always as x goes where? To negative infinity. See, it's going to keep going deeper and deeper. This one will always be the front. This will always be for the left side. And this one over here is now looking from the center that way. This one will always be the right end. The right end you'll always have to write as x approaches what? Positive infinity. All you got to make the call now is on what y is doing. Is y increasing or is y decreasing? Does that make sense? Okay, we got it? All right, I'll stop the video here, but I'm going to go over some more examples on delta math. Okay.